liked it. It was, you have a psychopath and a ghost story all in one.
I hope we're not giving too much away, but yeah, it's good because it's about, it's about possibilities. I think a lot of people really believe in the existence of the spirit world right next to us, don't you?
Oh yeah, we only experience four dimensions out of what, 12, 15 dimensions.
Exactly.
I'm a four-dimensional being and there's a 10-dimensional being standing next to me. I wouldn't be able to see it. It's like if I draw a stick figure on a piece of paper, the stick figure who is alive can't see me because it can only do two dimensions.
Exactly. Right.
But it was a great story. I mean,
Yeah.
I really liked it. What
What
did
a pleasure to run up against movies with stories for a change. It's an important thing. I think it's an important part of our nature too, storytelling. And I miss really good story. It's like a good joke. A good joke is really a good story, isn't it?
it is? Yes. You know, I like your take on storytelling because really great movies are great stories, and a lot of
Yeah.
times these days they pack them with effects and all kinds of stuff and it kind of takes away from the story.
Mm, mm.
I just watched Mortal Kombat, the new Mortal Kombat, and
Yeah.
instead of beating me up with effects, there was just a nice little story, a few effects. I mean, it was mindless entertainment, but at least it wasn't overdone. And this is a good ghost story that's not overdone.
Yeah. Sometimes you get to a point where you think that the entire budget of a $300 million film is for car chases. I'm not interested in car chases. We had our fill of those a long time ago, but it still seems to attract people. I wonder if that is the reason we have so many people driving so crazily in the streets. They think that it's a movie. They
Yeah.
think that they're going to get killed or something stupid like that.
Well, it's sort of like sex scenes. They overdo sex scenes. I've seen naked women enough. In Big Kiss, you know what's coming next. I don't need to see it to
I'm
a
with you. Yeah.
to an awful rock song. You know,
Get get on with some human relationships. Come on. How about a little love for a change?
well, great stories are often about relationships.
Well, yeah.
And developing relationships.
Right.
Your character had a good relationship with both the husband and the wife,
Right.
more so with the wife as the movie moved on. What was it like
Yeah.
working with these young actors?
Yeah. Well, you'd be surprised to find out that maybe you're not surprised that so many of them have such ability. It's like they started acting when they were 5 or something like that. They're so assured in front of a camera. I'm not sure if that's because of the amount of work they've done, which of course is part of the action, but also they grew up with movies, with television, with all of these visual things. I'm a radio guy.
Yeah,
I actually grew up on radio.
yeah,
And when it switched to television, in my memory, I couldn't distinguish between the pictures in my mind from the radio and the pictures that I was seeing on television. I'm not sure which was better, but I had to make a whole readjustment to things like these video games. I'm still lost. I mean, the company laughs at me when I try to play. I play pinball machines. What do I do? What can I tell you?
how
But
do you do with a smartphone?
the name puts me off.
Yeah,
Smart indeed. But these people are just so good, and they've got chops from the theater as well. They're well trained, they're disciplined. It's the kind of actor I am, and I respect that. And we got along very well, considering, by the way, that house has a reputation for being haunted. I don't know if you know that.
no, I didn't know that. It was haunted in the
That's
movie.
right.
Yeah,
That's in the area. It's supposed to be a genuinely haunted house.
were you
Yeah.
creeped out in there? Did
Well, there was one person who asked if he could stay there overnight so that he could visit the ghost. And at the last minute, he chickened out.
Yeah, I don't like ghosts. No offense. No offense to any ghosts hanging around here. I just. So, what drew you to acting? So, you're born in the late '30s. I grew up in the radio. I love radio broadcasts. I worked at a radio station in the early 1970s. And from 10 o'clock to midnight, we did CBS Mystery Theater, and we did, some of those old radio mysteries.
Right.
Loved them,
Yeah, yeah.
loved them.
They were really well done too, weren't
Oh,
they?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you see in it's your mind, and
Right.
not some director's idea of what it's going to be. It's like it's your story, not someone else's. But
And
what drew you to acting?
I gotta tell you, man, I had no idea literature was not part of my life or my family's life. We were blue collar, hardworking people. I mean, my father was a mechanic. My people were, they were coal miners and steel workers, hardworking people, 5, 6 days a week. So that we didn't have much time for like book learning. We worked. Me and my brothers worked, helped my father. Anyway, the point is, uh, a teacher in high school when I was about 16 saw something in me and said, "You should try this." I was a troublesome kid. I was a wild teenager. I mean, I had made real problems. I had problems with. We used to steal cars.
I,
Could I
I've
tell you?
done that. I've
And
done.
we got busted. Anyhow, the point is that I was headed to for nothing very good, actually. And she saw something in me and said, "Try this." And I did a play, and I was gone. My life changed because of that teacher, Lucia P. Hutchins, saved my life.
Oh, that's a great story because I have the same kind of troubled youth as you. I was always in trouble. Skipped school. I skipped most of my senior year. Uh,
Uh,
I'm cars, drugs, all that kind of
right.
stuff. My mother saved me and said, "Gee, you should do radio." So I wanted to be a rock and roll drummer. I was a terrible drummer. I'm a good drummer now, but she said, "Why don't you try radio?" And I went into radio, changed my life. Totally changed my life. It was a
bless
blessing.
bless her heart. Good for
Because
her. Wow.
your teacher saw, sometimes people see something in you that other people don't, and it
That's
changes
right.
your life. It's a life changing thing. That teacher changed your life.
Absolutely. Completely.
And
It
then
was
along,
a real stroke of luck. I mean, incredible. How does that kind of thing happen? Why?
and
I'm grateful. You know,
then along came Amadeus.
another stroke of luck.
Oh my
I
God!
mean,
What a, there's two tandem performances that I think are the best ever. The first is John Voight and Dustin Hoffman in Midnight Cowboy, and the
it's pretty
second
good stuff.
and you and Tom Hulse and Amadeus. Nobody has been able to touch either one. I've never seen anything like that. They
Oh,
should
thank
give
you.
an Oscar to both of you.
Yeah, that's what I felt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I saw your acceptance speech.
Yeah.
He was so good, and you were so good. But you're a really good actor. You're really good at. What was it like to play Al Capone? You don't really see you as an Al Capone.
No, that could have been a better performance. I loved working with Martin. Marty Sheen was terrific, terrific to work with. But did you know that Tom Holznow is a really successful producer?
No, I did not.
Yeah, so that's what he's doing now.
If it doesn't work on one end, you do another. I wanted to be a rock and roll drummer. Wound up in rock and roll radio.
It's not too late.
It doesn't matter. What my mom said to me, what can you do in music that isn't drumming? And so for Tom Hulse, what can you do in movies that's not acting? He's a great actor.
I think so too.
Yeah, he's a terrific actor. So what do you prefer playing? A good guy or a bad
Oh, I prefer good material. I want to do good stuff. I'd like to make people laugh. That's one of my great pleasures. I love jokes, but I'd like to go back and forth because It keeps you alive. It keeps you fresh. Keeps you guessing.
Yeah.
Going from Macbeth to Bottom, for example, in Shakespeare, is fun. But also, you jump to the contemporaries. I love doing Mammoth. Mamet is a terrific playwright for actors, as is Pinter. He absolutely writes for actors.
Yeah.
Pirandello, he's a wonderful writer for act. Moliere, these guys, and Shakespeare certainly, but these guys really understand an actor's mentality, and an actor really comes alive with great writing, where he doesn't with anything else,
Yeah.
because it really encourages you, insists on the best you can do, on really dragging it out, stretching,
Yeah.
taking risks. These people who wrote this script for this movie, for example, they really care about actors. They write with them in mind, and it shows it because of the relationships that you see on the screen. I think they feel legitimate, don't they?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I really, and it's two people who are kind of lost, you know. The husband who wants to be all these things and is
Right, right.
lying about stuff, and the wife who really doesn't want to be with the husband, and I and it really showed. It worked really well. It's a great
Yeah.
movie. I mean, I like good horror movies anyway.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Those are two good actors too, James and
they're very good
Amanda.
actors.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Yeah, I've loved her and everything. I've
Ah,
never seen.
model.
Yeah,
She's great to work with too, by the way. She's
yeah,
really, really a treat.
yeah. Do you prefer? Do you do any stage work anymore? Do you do a lot of?
Oh yeah, I do at least a play a year. I
Yeah,
mean, happened this last year. Nobody has,
no,
but I miss it. I absolutely have to do it at least once a year. I really need it. I love it.
because then
I
you
mean,
interact with the audience. There's a night. There's reaction. You can.
well, yeah, and you never know what's going to happen. You know, on stage, there's no such thing as a retake. I mean, if
Yeah,
you screw up, you gotta go. You gotta go on. You gotta plow through. Or if someone decides to start shouting from the audience,
yeah.
well, you got to deal with it. You know,
You know,
it's
you
it's
were
thrilling.
you were talking about writing, and oftentimes when I review a movie, I always talk about a, a great movie starts with a written word. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
yes, a great writing makes a great movie. And
Oh yeah.
people forget that this is written material.
Howard Hawks said that you can't. You really don't don't start making a film if the script's not finished.
Yeah,
Don't say, well, we'll finish it on the set. He said, don't ever do that.
yeah,
And Wes Anderson and the Coen brothers share this. When they come into a movie, the script is ready. It's just the way they want it. It's wonderful stuff to work on, and they have complete confidence in it and in you. People like that are such a pleasure to work for.
yeah. I mean, who haven't you worked with that you'd like to work with?
Oh gosh, I really would like to have made a film with Bergman and Fellini, and I would like to see what John Ford was like. I mean, just to see what it would be like. Hitchcock. I mean, all the old timers, you know. But the modern filmmakers, I'd like to make a film with someone who's never, like, who's not famous at all. I like to do a new picture. I like to do a new play. There's nothing like a new play. I gotta tell you.
That's true. That's well, you know, the directors in this movie, the writers and directors are pretty unheard of. I
They've
don't.
been around. They've made some good movies, but they love movie making. They're just a treat.
And you know,
You know when you work for someone like that who really cares, it's like a pleasure. It's like a treat.
and
I mean,
sometimes,
you're a musician, right?
yeah, absolutely.
So you know what it's like when you're part of a group and one of the people is like a jerk. It's
Yeah,
like screws everything up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The guy who I can tell you a story. I worked in a blues band one time. We kept playing the same kind of music, and I complained to the guy who thought he led the band, and he said, "Well, we're going to do this song," and it goes, "You know, I run the band. It's my band. We're going to do the song. Okay, this song 1, 2, 3, 4," and he starts playing, and I'm playing 1, 2, and he did that 2 or 3 times. Don't Gary, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I did 1, 2, 3, and I finally said, "Now who runs the band?" You know.
Good
Sometimes
for you, man.
sometimes the drummer runs the band. So
That's great.
working now, famous directors or actors, who would you like to work with you haven't worked with?
Hmm. I have a lot of respect for George Clooney, and I'd like to do a picture. Oh, there's so many. I mean, the list goes on. If I start naming people, I mean, I'm going to miss some, you know.
Sort of
But,
like sort of like the acceptance speech at the Oscars. Who do you think?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think Sigourney Weaver is underrated. I think she's a wonderful actress, both on stage and in comedy and tragedy and movies. But I think, oh, there's so many, my friend. Really, too many to mention.
I'm
Uh,
trying to
Gary
remember
Oldman's a good actor,
who.
but I think the American actors are every bit as good as any British actor. I'm very pro-American for Shakespeare.
Yeah. Shakespeare is so American these days.
Oh, by the way, my closest friend, he's not with us any longer, but my closest friend, I met him doing a stage play called The Ritz, long time ago. First, it was I think my first Broadway play, but he was the original drummer for the Comets, for Bill Haley's Comets, and he played drums with his group in their 80s and early 90s. He insisted on keeping the group together, the Comets, and he was a drummer, and he played, worked out every single day until he was 93 years old.
Wow.
Yeah,
I still play in my 70s until COVID, full court fast break basketball.
right on, babe.
And
You got to.
I'm 72 now,
Yeah,
and I used to play with guys close to 80. Some people in their 80s.
fabulous.
I mean, you don't have to quit living just because you get old.
No, no, I'm 81.
Yeah,
I've got lots of years ahead of me.
yeah. You're real sharp. You know, you know,
So are you.
most people think older people aren't sharp at all, but you're
Yeah.
very sharp, articulate. You're as young as you feel.
Yeah, that's the truth.
So, what's your next movie? What are you doing now?
I'm working on a play. We were going to do it, and the pandemic put it on hold. But it's a really good play. I'm co-producing. It's based on the writings, a conversation between Norman Mailer and his son Buffalo, and he says some stuff. It's all his own words, and it's a I think it's an important play, but it's also funny. And that's as soon as the curtain goes up, that's the play I'm going to do right here in New York.
I don't. People don't see you as being funny. I don't remember seeing you in too many comedies.
No,
Mostly you're in dramas, and
yeah.
you're a great bad guy. I mean, you're really good at that. But you love comedy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm blessed because I've had the opportunity to do both.
yeah.
It's great to be able to balance it. It's like not only balance the comedy and the tragedy, but it's to balance the movies with the television with the stage. It really it keeps you fresh. It keeps you on your toes.
What's your year like? You work a couple of months, take a month or so off, work again, or do you work steadily all the way through it?
Well, it's let me tell you a story. I was doing a show here in town, and there was a stock 10 questions that were asked. It was published in the Daily News once a week, and the last question this time was, if you knew the end of the world was tomorrow, what would you do? And my wife said, he'd look for work. That's that's what an actor's life is. When he's not working, he's looking for work. So when the work comes, you take it, baby. You
Yeah,
take it.
absolutely, absolutely. You just follow your nose, kind of. It's interesting when you're doing that. If you're always acting, things just come along, and you're not like a Clooney or somebody like that. So people aren't. I mean, I'm sure people knock on your door a lot, but you also have to go out and seek. which makes you a different kind of an actor rather than somebody like George Clooney or a Matt Damon or people who are, hey, will you do my movie? You know,
Mhm.
uh, is it,
I'm lucky. No, but I am lucky. I do get lots of offers. They're not all good. That's the problem. But yes, I do. I don't. I have agents who look for me and a manager, but basically, I don't have to worry too much about what I do. The problem is finding good material, and if I don't, I'll do anything to keep myself active. I work out every day. I vocalize and I read, but and I memorize. I think you have to do that to keep this thing fresh.
uh,
It's as important as physically exercising. It's hard to convince younger actors that that's true. But anyhow, I memorize Shakespeare's sonnets. Yeah. But the other thing is that when I can't write. I know good writing when I see it. And I've tried and I can't do it. And I really respect writers so much so that I seek out readings of plays just to see what's happening out there. And even though we're not doing a lot of stuff in theater, we're doing a lot of Zoom stuff. People are still functioning, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, I do Zoom all the time. I'd
Yeah.
rather meet people in person. That's much more fun.
Yeah.
Uh, Zoom works really well. I've talked to some very interesting people
Yeah.
via Zoom, and the interesting thing is that being a kind of a B-list critic, so I'm in Portland, Oregon, so I'm not quite up there with, somebody in Seattle or LA or Chicago. I get a lot of people, more interesting people to me. I mean, I'd love to interview Clooney or Jeff Bridges or Meryl Streep, but I'm never going to get to do that. So I get to talk to really interesting people like you. Uh, Directors, I love to talk to directors and writers, especially
Yeah.
writers or producers. Producers are fascinating people.
Yeah.
They keep everything together. Sometimes it's their ideas, and they go, why don't you try?
Uh-huh.
Uh, but I really love the fact that with Zoom, I can talk to you.
Mm.
Because before
Yeah.
Zoom, I couldn't. I
Oh,
might
yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
a phone interview, but I get to see you, and
Yeah.
I like seeing you. What role did you turn down that you wish you had? Any?
Oh, lots of them.
Yeah,
Don't even ask. Don't even go there. Lots of them. I just didn't want to play another bad guy. And it was a lot of money, but if you say no enough times, they stop asking. That's some advice I'd like to give to Academy Award winners. You can be selective, but don't be stupid. But I
yeah,
stuck to my guns. I'm all right. I'm better than all right. I'm fine. I'm what is strangely known as a happy man.
yeah.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Especially in these trying times.
some of your roles, you're not a happy man. And you talked about turning down bad guy roles. Bad guys, I mean, you're a great villain. I mean, and you're likable and some like I felt really sorry for Salieri in Amadeus. I felt bad for him because you have no talent.
Oh, don't say that.
So
Um,
Salieri had no talent. I mean,
oh no, no,
a little
he
bit.
wrote some pretty stuff. I did an experiment once with an orchestra where I suggested to the conductor that what we would do is play a piece by Salieri and a piece by Mozart, but not identify it and ask the audience which was which. Half of them were wrong. Salieri's not that bad. I'm very defensive about him. He's been very, very good to me.
He has been, hasn't he?